in, ladies and gentlemen, to NBR, or as we like to call it around here, Nothing But Rants, the show where I find topics that I'm oddly passionate about and I pontificate upon them. These are not hot takes, but rather takes that I'm hot about. What's up? Really like that. You really like that?
Let's shut up and grind some tape.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome in on a beautiful Tuesday evening here on the Film Guy Network. And whoo-wee, I wrote woo-wee on the notes. How do you think you spell woo-wee?
I always did.
Is it
like
ooh-wee or woo?
Woo-wee.
I always did like a bunch of O's and then we.
So I put a W first.
Yeah, I do WH.
Woo-wee.
Yeah, I mean.
Either way, woo-wee. It is portal season, ladies and gentlemen. Over 1,000 players. I think we're north of 1,100 now. 1,100 players have entered their name into the transfer portal, and that sucker been open for 24 hours. It ain't been long. All right, and there's a bunch over there. We're going to talk about that tonight. We also have a Florida State plan from hell. I mean, a plan that is the most devious thing I've ever seen. Only the devil himself could have conducted it or concocted it. We're going to talk about that tonight. Hugh Freeze has made the show notes for the first time since he lost to New Mexico State. Hugh Freeze has made the show notes, so we're going to talk about him. Kyle McCord has potentially found his landing spot, or at least a place that has been linked to him. Funny how we keep getting these quarterback linked to so-and-sos before a commitment announcement comes, or even official visits, but nonetheless, some mutual interest between two parties there. It is award season. It is definitely upon us. We're going to talk about that tonight. Make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button. Make sure you're liking, subscribing, rating, reviewing, and firing off in that live chat. That's how we trick this algorithm, okay? We think we got great stuff around here. You guys think we got great stuff around here. Let's share it with the world, okay? So help us out and like, subscribe, rate, review, all that good stuff. It is a loaded one on tonight's show, and I want to start, okay, with Hugh Freeze, okay? I want to start with Hugh Freeze, and I can't believe I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it. Okay, I don't know why I can't believe it. I should have known something like this was going to eventually happen. Okay, Hugh Freeze in the last calendar month has a loss to New Mexico State. He has a catastrophic loss in the Iron Bowl, in which he was up 4th and 31. Everybody knows about that. They finished 91st in total offense under a head coach who is known for offense. Okay, and if I told you that just in a synopsis, while also going 7-5.
No, 6 and 6.
6 and 6. While also going 6 and 6 this year, if I told you that in, I don't know, July, you would probably say, ooh, bad year. Bad year. And even now, listening to that, you would probably say, damn, bad year, bad first year under Hugh Freeze. And I would tell you, nay. I would say you are looking in the incorrect places. If you look in the right places, you will see the right things required to win in this conference, the SEC. I see 2 5-star receivers in 2024, Cam Coleman and Perry Thompson, both of which you won over, okay, and beat out other SEC top elite recruiting programs. I see 2 flips from Georgia. DeMarcus Riddick was a known Georgia commit. Okay, what a lot of people don't know, unless you're subscribed over on patreon.com/Brooks Austin, was that Joseph Phillips had a sliding scale majiggy through the roof. All right, that dude was going to Georgia until about, I don't know, right before he made his announcement, and he is now an Auburn commit. Okay, you got 1 flip from Florida as well. Jamonte Walker, an outside linebacker edge rusher that was, I don't know, in the top 50 in the 24/7 composite, okay? So some elite recruiting going on. In a world of college football where your job as a head football coach at programs like Auburn is one of your primary jobs nowadays, okay, is to figure out how to convince them to utilize their funds for your benefit, okay? Who better in this world to figure out a way to get people to, and convince people to use their money to acquire talent on their football team? Who better in this world to figure out to do that than the guy that figured out how to get 5 stars to Ole Miss? 5 stars to Ole Miss, this dude did that. All right, and yeah, it came with some trouble. All right, it came with some trouble, but guess what? Lane Kiffin got all the access and legal ability to use money in the world nowadays and can't get 5 stars to Ole Miss. This dude did something albeit illegally. This dude did something in Oxford, Mississippi that Lane Kiffin, a guy we all consider to be a top 10 football coach, couldn't figure out how to do and can't figure out how to do. He is portal Lord over there in Ole Miss and in Oxford right now. This dude got 5 stars to Oxford when it was illegal to do what he's doing now, okay? And he is doing it now better than he did then. You know how I know? Because I look up today, and this dude's got KJ Bolden scheduling last-minute visits to Auburn after 6-6, after New Mexico State, after 4th and 31. This dude has KJ Bolden going on visits. Boys, Auburn ain't a problem now unless you're recruiting and on the trail. But Auburn gonna be a problem, and Auburn already is a problem on the recruiting trail. That's what I learned the last, 9 months under the Hugh Freeze experience.
I mean, heck, they just also recently flipped the number 1 wide receiver in this year's class as well.
Cam Coleman.
Yeah, Cam Coleman. So they're getting dudes, and we kind of got a sense of that, as you mentioned, throughout the offseason of like, oh, Auburn's starting to heat up a little bit on the recruiting trail. They're being noticed now. Like, that is a logo that we're consistently seeing.
Dude, he got in late with the KJ Bolden stuff before the original commitment. Like, there was a sway for Auburn momentum, right? Uncle Mo started popping his head into the recruitment of KJ Bolden towards the end. So, and it is NIL. Don't get me wrong. They are definitely one of the, I'm telling you as a guy who knows, all right, this isn't speculative. This is a guy who knows, talks out in the streets. The streets be talking. Auburn is playing. All right, Auburn is definitely playing ball like they should be, okay? But it's also a byproduct of work. This dude was going to KJ, right? He was last-minute visits to KJ's house out here in Atlanta. So this is a guy that is not only prioritized recruitment, knows how to recruit, but clearly knows how to convince his boosters that I'm the guy you need to give that money to because I know how to get players here.
For sure. I mean, what he's doing on the recruiting trail is extremely scary, and it's going to be a problem for a while. But you also have to, at some point, develop that talent into winning games. I mean, we just went through this with Jimbo Fisher 2 years ago, where he had the number 1 recruiting class ever, and was basically doing it for similar things through NIL. And it was like, hey, A&M's going to be a real problem here, and they kept going 6-6.
Which, let's be honest about it, Robert Nkemdiche, still a first-round draft pick despite everything that happened to him. 28th overall, I believe, to Arizona. I don't know how my brain does that. Will you look that up for me and see if that was correct? Laquan Treadwell, first-round draft pick. Laramie Tunsil, despite everything that went on with Laramie Tunsil,
that was wild.
Still a first-round draft pick. So all of the development still was there. He clearly turned 5-star prospects into first-round draft picks, and that alone – serves purpose.
Yeah, I mean, his proof of concept and his work certainly shows. I'm just saying that you got to keep doing that. You have to develop these players that you're bringing in.
How messed up is my brain?
You were 1 pick off. Is 29th.
Damn.
But you got everything else right.
Is that's 2014? No, 2017 NFL draft?
2016.
because 16 was the last year Hugh Freeze was at Ole Miss.
Fun fact, Robert Nkemdiche and myself were on a recruiting visit together to Ole Miss.
Nice.
Had the weirdest hands. I'll show you the picture after the show. He had clearly broken his hands because his bottom 2 fingers were like bent, bending outward.
So you could do a really good like Star Trek hand signal thing.
This one?
Yeah.
Is that it? Yeah, for sure.
I can't do that.
I can't either.
I think it was because, defensive linemen like to tape their fingers like the jab or like the whatever. Okay. What are they called?
I don't know. I'm not that nerdy.
The Star Trekkers. Okay. They like to do that. So maybe it was part of that. But yeah, Hugh Freeze out here doing the thing.
I mean, and two, like if I'm an Auburn Tiger fan and I'm kind of looking back on this season, like the first thing you want to see, in my opinion, in a first-year head coach is like you want to see your team be competitive in some football games. You want to see some type of inclination that, okay, we're improving compared to what we were last year, but you most importantly want to see, okay, we're getting into rooms, our recruiting is starting to pick up, our logo is being put into more top 5 and top 3s or whatever. Like our name is being mentioned and linked to these top players in the country. While also, hey, we were in a fourth quarter fight with Georgia and Alabama this year. So those are massive pluses and something that I would be looking forward to moving forward.
Can you explain to me why he's so confident in his quarterback? Because they're not active. They're not active in the quarterback market.
Peyton Thorne has another year of eligibility?
He does.
I mean, do we know they're not active in the
They're not in the Brock Vandegrift sweepstakes.
That's true. That's a good point.
I mean,
and he is – I mean, maybe that's just me thinking my valued opinion is worth something. But he seems like the perfect guy for Hugh. I just don't – it doesn't make any sense to me. He can throw and he can run.
I mean,
that's what they want to do.
Let's also be real though. We're 1 day into the portal talks.
Correct.
So I mean, there's still plenty of time for maybe a guy's going to come up that the guys that we've wanted or the guy we're waiting on.
I think he's been on record though saying, because Auburn fans have commented and talked about how as if he does not want. I've seen it on social media how he does not. He has made it clear we're not in the market.
Yeah, and I feel like if your team is in the market for a quarterback, you've already been mentioned somewhere to someone's name. Anybody
South Carolina was linked to KJ immediately. You know why? Because they want him. All right, so they're going to talk about them being linked. They start leaking this stuff out to hopefully gain some momentum in terms of all that stuff. So I don't know. He must be confident. Here's the weird thing. I remember we got big into watching coaches' pressers this year. Remember I told you, and this is why. I remember watching him talk about the Texas A&M football game because they scored like 10 points on the road against Texas A&M, and he said something about quarterback play in the sense that we had guys running available out there. We had guys running free is what he said verbatim. So I don't know. In midseason, he wasn't necessarily in love with his quarterback play. Now he seems to be happy about it. So it's weird.
This might be a little tinfoil hat type deal, but you haven't seen any Auburn Tiger quarterbacks enter the portal either. Maybe Robbie Ashford next year. Maybe that's what he's holding out on. Like he got a full year of development under Hugh this season, and so next year they're like, that's going to be our guy.
Robbie is a dream. Like he is. I mean, he is Brock Vandegrift. That's what it is. It may be even bigger and faster, honestly. So I could see it, but that doesn't make a lot of sense.
That's why I said kind of.
I've seen the Robbie Ashford book. I think we're good on that one. No?
Yeah,
he's really fast.
He's really fast. Really fast. Runs quarterback run really well. But boy,
Chat's saying that KJ Bolden unfollowed Florida State and follows Auburn on Instagram.
I hate doing this.
I don't know if you're into that, but
I do too. I hate doing it too. But it's kind of the world we're in.
Like
nowadays.
I remember Georgia fans doing it when Carson Beck swiped clean.
Everything.
Like, there's no more Georgia stuff.
When that happens, you should know it's 0 dark 30 mode.
Yeah.
That's a page from LeBron's playbook. I don't even think Carson Beck has Twitter.
I think he has it.
I don't think he does. I think if you search Carson Beck, I think the profile ceased to exist.
No, he has a Twitter.
He has one?
He has a Twitter.
He's never on it, though.
Yeah.
No.
But no, I think that was when you see kids doing that one, that's a 0 dark 30. I think when you see the unfollow, follow back, who am I following thing, I think that's an ability to troll. I think kids get off on this nowadays.
Because they know people are looking for it.
I think they get some juice from trolling.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty funny to watch to unfollow, to hit one button and then watch 45-year-olds freak out.
Yeah,
online.
this guy definitely would love to troll.
Definitely would have been that type of recruit.
Nah,
not me.
Not the recruit though.
Come on.
Nah, I wouldn't have done that.
There's no inclination in you whatsoever of like you would have done that.
Maybe. I might have done it.
Like, especially like, say you went on a visit to a team you necessarily didn't like and their fans are wanting you to go to them.
Nah,
so
maybe I would do that.
I'll intentionally troll them into thinking I'm going there.
That
just
would
so
be
I can
actually
spurn
pretty
them.
funny.
Yeah.
You know what I always thought, or not always thought, you know what I came to think about NIL recruitment? I thought these things were unflippable.
Yeah.
When you commit to Florida State, and we all presume, and maybe it was wrong, but I don't think it was. Everyone presumed it was NIL, infatuated or dealing with NIL, and then the Auburn momentum we all believe to be about NIL. But if I commit to you and your NIL collective, and I say I'm gonna come play here, is that just in promise that when I get here the money's gonna show up? Or are there down payments involved? Down payments are not allowed, but come on, let's not be naive about this. Do you just sacrifice the down payment and just assume that that's like it's insurance-free money? It's already like it's gone, even if you flip. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean,
like I thought these NIL commitments were going to be way more solid because now they were financially tied to these schools, or at least in promise.
I mean, I've heard things where like you get a commitment bonus where you say you commit and then you get X number of dollars. I don't know if any of that's true or not.
Well, shit, we apparently got guys getting bags for visits nowadays.
Oh, but yeah, that's always been the case.
No, it has not.
Yeah,
it has not. It has not been the case that you can demand X amount of dollars to come on campus. Now, getting on campus and getting handed cash, that's happened for years.
Yes.
I'm with you. I've been to recruits and places of school and seen these cash envelopes in their bags before. This happens. That happens.
Yeah,
but
that's what I'm saying.
I'm fitting to get 6 G's or I'm fitting to get $5,000 to show up on your campus. I have never heard of demands prior to visits. I have heard of cash handshakes. We all know that happens.
Hey, man, time is money. But
shit, I need an agent. I need an agent out here because my time ain't the money. I ain't getting money for my time.
But something that we also kind of got a glimpse of again this offseason. I know it's not officially the offseason yet, but Texas A&M players have been saying, y'all kept saying that we were over here being millionaires, and we didn't see a cent of that money that y'all said we were getting.
I wonder why you're hitting the portal then.
Yeah.
I thought that just basically exposed – I quote tweeted the Evan Stewart thing because I thought that was funny. Mm-hmm. Like he basically said the bread that they promised me didn't show up from sliced bread. That's why I read that.
Yeah.
I know he said it was like we wouldn't get money no way. Buddy, you made terrible decisions then to commit to Texas A&M. I'm sorry. And by the way, at a historical rate, and like we all knew what it was. We all knew what it was. So much so that Lane Kiffin was out here willingly talking about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I thought that was funny. But, yeah, we got a great show for you guys. Hey, welcome in. Like, subscribe, rate, review. We are on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We just crossed over 18.5. So shouts out to us. We're trying to get to 20K. That's the next milestone I think we should be proud of.
I think we should get to a spot where we stop celebrating 0.5.
Yeah. I mean, but it's cool to watch the 4 go to 5.
Yeah, for sure.
We're at a halfway mark.
Yeah,
we're averaging 500 every 2 weeks.
Yeah,
so
but like
I want to keep that.
When you're in a relationship for like 3 years, you don't go, 3.5 years now.
Ooh,
you know what I'm saying?
That's a great point. I fumbled the bag on this one. The first year, and this is, we talk about setting expectations and maintaining consistency and doing all that stuff. And part of being consistent is setting expectations that you can maintain, right? The first year I was dating my wife, I sent her flowers or bought her flowers on our month anniversary every time. And bad precedents. Okay, not that my wife expects things nowadays, but every once, like crazy things like that nowadays. But every once in a while, I'll get it's normally when her time hop or whatever pops up with that, ooh, he bought me flowers this day. And on the 15th of every month. Every once in a while, I'll get a, man, remember when you used to do things like that? And I'm like, oh, shit. That's on me. That's not setting the expectations properly. So be careful. I know you're engaged. We don't know about you. You're aloof in all aspects of life, and I think I prefer it that way, honestly. But yeah, see that fucking smile on his face.
Ooh, there's a mark.
Yeah, it is a mark. Anyways, so yeah, shouts out to the boy Kurt. Set the expectations, manage them properly. I think the expectation of hitting 20,000 relatively quickly is a good expectation to hit. So yeah,
I like it.
People asking if KJ was a Fran guy. Y'all are in there trying to get KJ back to Georgia or back in the mix with Georgia. I don't know if that's the case. I'm sure they're still calling, asking, talking, recruiting, doing the thing. But I don't know. I think the ship might have sailed.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, but yeah, still got to do all the good things and necessary things that you have to do because in today's age of football, you never know what could happen. You never know what could happen or change in a year where that relationship that you maintain might make a difference later on.
Purge valves, spicy chicken sandwich.
Okay. For me, I got to ask about the purge valve now because I don't know what the heck that is.
My thoughts exactly. Okay. So I hopped in the truck yesterday morning, turned the truck on. I got a check engine light. Okay, I got check engine light. And me, when I see check engine light, now that the vehicle is mine, it's no longer mom and dad's vehicle, it's no longer a company vehicle, it's my vehicle. I get worrisome because it's an expensive vehicle. I'm like, oh shit, I better get this to a mechanic really quickly. But I always know, hey, AutoZone, O'Reilly, all these people, they'll plug up to your computer reader and they'll tell you diagnostic, hey, here's what's wrong. So here's what I've come to the conclusion of, and I already knew this, but I've really settled in on this. A mechanic could tell me absolutely anything on this planet. And I think this is a flaw in our educational system, particularly for men. Not to be sexist here, but like women are always going to they always get taken advantage of. Maybe it's not everybody, because I think mechanics do this. I think they can take advantage of you because they know what I'm about to tell you. I don't know shit about my vehicle. So much so that when the O'Reilly Auto Parts attendant hooked up to the computer system and looked at me and goes, it's a purge valve. Okay? The fuck is a purge valve, dog? What is a purge valve? What is that something? Is my truck going to explode?
No, it just expends air fumes from the engine.
See, you know this.
Yeah.
And you knew this in the chat. I thought this is the weirdest thing. This is him. I sent into the chat today, spicy chicken sandwich and a purge valve. And you had the proper response. The hell are you talking about? The hell? Like random text message, purge valve, spicy chicken sandwich. You responded like a normal human. What the hell? You responded, sounds like you're running errands and your check engine light came on. So how do you know about vehicles like this? Is this something that you grew up doing?
I mean, I feel like I know a thing or two about cars. I'm not like an aficionado. Like I can't fix a car handedly by myself, but
why?
But why? Why?
Yeah,
what?
why do you have this skill?
I mean, because I have an old truck, so I've worked on it a lot.
Okay.
And just
So this is
learning.
life experience.
Yeah, life experience.
This is something that you have had to overcome yourself.
Yeah, I like learning.
Like me, the next time someone says something about a purge valve, I'm going to know that he's not pulling my leg.
Mm-hmm.
He looked at me as if I looked at you and said, oh, it's Tuesday. You know what I mean? He looked at me like I knew what he was talking about. I said, buddy, can I drive the truck? He's like, oh, yeah. I mean, just get it addressed.
Yeah.
I said, like, can I drive it 100 miles and be okay? And he's like, yeah, you'd be all right. So, yeah, I don't know.
I wouldn't get your
shit
emissions
about
done
cars.
doing that, though.
Huh?
I wouldn't get your emissions done with
No,
that, though.
but hey, I live in Jackson County. How about them dogs? You don't have to worry about emissions tests here. They don't
chilling.
care about the environment.
No.
Fuck the
No.
environment. No.
Oh, two
Don't
towels.
care too. That one's quiet though.
Hey, these road
You
bikes.
ever see the guy?
Full 25, so we might have to actually give something away now.
I don't know if he does videos anymore, but there's this guy on TikTok for the longest time that I always saw, and he
Doing
would-
life skill videos?
not life skill videos, but he would do the bit of like playing the role as a mechanic, and he'd be like, "Oh yeah, you just need your
I'll fix that for about tree fitting.
that would cost you about $250. Like everything's gonna cost you $250 at a mechanic and stuff like that." So that's what that made me think of. The only thing I ever learned about vehicles, and my dad taught me this, is how to change your own oil. That's what I
Yeah.
know how to do. I know how to do that.
I mean, I can figure that out. I've watched enough people do it. It's not
Do
super
you know how
hard.
to change blinker fluid?
There ain't no blinker fluid.
All right, good.
You sure?
At least you passed the first test.
Now, we did have a known construction joke. I know it's a football show. Known construction joke, the rebar bender. Go get the rebar bender out of the back of the truck.
Good God.
And that sucker would be back there looking for that thing forever. But yeah, anyways, purge valves. Mechanics tell you anything in this life. Is there a football equivalent to a mechanic that is always going to talk over your head, that can just tell you anything and you go, yeah, for sure?
I mean, there's a lot of people who try to do like the cover 3 split safety, bringing 4 down. It's like stuff like that where you just try to talk fast and throw a bunch of football jargon at them to where they're like, what?
John Gruden.
Oh,
John Gruden to the casual football fan is probably like, "Excuse me, what did you do? Like? Did you even speak English right there?"
Yeah.
John Gruden's a good example. I'm trying to think of I think sometimes advanced stats people can do this. I think people who are way too deep in the weeds, the graphs sometimes make no sense to me. You got EFI, ESQ on the bottom, and on the other side, you got PTSD. And it's like, if you're in the top right upper quadrant, you're good. And I'm like, just tell me that, man. Just tell me that.
I got a buddy of mine who's really deep in the weeds of baseball. And it's like whenever it's baseball season, he'll text me like, "Oh, so-and-so player's leading this team in this stat." And I'm like, "Buddy, I don't know what that is. Like, what is whip plus BB plus K rate? Like, I don't know what that is, dude. Like, just tell me if it's good or bad."
That was my favorite in baseball, when they started adding advanced metric to advanced metric to get new advanced metric. That was excellent.
Yeah, just say, "This player make ball go far more often than others."
This player make ball go far. Me no football. Me smart. Bang. Yeah, so shouts out to the purge valves. Do we want to play Guess the Lines? Army Navy edition.
The only Guess the Line only game this week.
Hey, thank you for your service. Army Navy edition right here of Guess the Lines.
We don't have to worry about an undefeated season being ruined this week either.
Hey, ain't no doubt. Both teams 5-6, so either way, America's going to a bowl game. Shouts
Heck
out.
yeah. Love
Air
it.
Force already secured the bag of a bowl game for America. Navy cost them a New Year's Six bowl. Did the Air Force end up 11-1?
I think Army beat them. Army was the team.
So
that beat
both
Air
of
Force.
these teams, or Army beat them?
Yeah.
Okay, so either way, one of these teams cost them a New Year's Six bowl, and that's not nice. That's working against your own servicemen.
Nah,
thought we were
dude.
supposed to be a team.
No, it's a rivalry between them, bro.
I guess
That's like Auburn and Alabama are in the same state. Why aren't they working together to represent?
no. That's not like this.
That's exactly what it is.
No,
talk to
this
any
is like-
talk to any person in the military. They're like, "Oh, I hate the Navy. I'm a Marine." I swear.
People
But
do be hating on the Navy.
They do.
Or like, trust me, it checks out.
But I think that comes from like brotherly love, I'm better than you.
Yeah.
Like, if it came down to it, I would still go to war with my brother.
For sure.
All right? But if somebody were to ask me who throws a football better, I'm going to tell you me.
Yeah, but
he sucks.
But if the Georgia fan comes and says the state of Alabama sucks, Auburn and Alabama fans are going to join together and fight that. It's the common enemy.
What do we got?
Well, you tell me. What do you got?
All right. It's Army versus Navy. We're going to pick the spread, the over-under, and the team totals.
Yeah,
is that what we put in the show
what I
notes today? All right. So I'm going to say Army by 1.5 in this football game.
I think Army's favored by more. I'll go by 4.
See, I don't know nothing about these two football teams other than they're 5 and 6.
Army's favored by 2.5.
So I win.
Yeah, you won that one.
Let's go.
Damn it. Wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said 1.5.
1.5. I was
Oh,
off
did you
by
say
4
1?
points.
Did you say 1.5?
gave
Damn,
the
I thought you
half.
said
Yeah.
1.
No,
I
he
gave
said
the
1.5.
Damn.
I win.
All right. What about the over
By the
under?
way, Georgia just beat Georgia Tech in basketball by like 15 points. So shouts out Mike White.
Good job, Mike.
What about the over under in this game? I love this one because there's
Is this
nothing to go off of.
Don't tell. Is this Iowa low? Nah, that's too much information. I would imagine it's Iowa low. 37.5.
No, dude. These Army games are consistently 10-7. I mean, it's a team that runs triple option in the snow. 28.5. That's what I'm setting it at.
Whoa, look at you, 27.5
Yeah,
is the over
see?
under.
Oh my God, I can't wait to watch this football.
It's
game.
gonna be. It's
Our boy Gary on the call.
Yeah.
Friend of the show, Gary Danielson. Hey, by the way, we're the only show in America that can say that. How about that?
Well,
Gary, a little elitist on his YouTube
also
content.
every CBS show that they have.
No. I ain't seen him on Pate. We got him, though. Shouts out our boy Gary.
All right, we'll do one last one because you got that one. We'll do a little tiebreaker here.
All right, let's do it.
All right. Give me a guess. All right, we'll do this for
We have team totals still.
I know this is kind of like a team
Okay,
total type
okay.
thing, but it's a little different. We'll do this for Navy specifically. How many receiving yards do you think their leading receiver has this season?
276.
Damn, that's a good guess. 350 flat.
You would have been almost right on it if I did Army, but for Navy, it's 326.
Yes.
The Army leading receiver has 266.
Damn, that's a good guess.
You had a really good guess.
I despise the triple.
Yeah.
I do. And I'm going to do this take now. Should I do this take now? I'm going to explain why I despise the triple. I don't think, and just in high school football, I understand it, I guess, to an extent if you're at a military academy and you're still running it because you are at a talent discrepancy. It's the only way you can win in the margins, all that good stuff. But when you're a high school football coach, and I've made this take several times on social media, so I'm going to stand on it again here now that we're talking about triple option. I think one of your primary jobs is to win football games. I also think it's to develop young men. I think it's to do all that leadership stuff that requires and you sign up for as a football coach. Honestly, it's why most of you do it. I 100% believe that's because you want to change and impact young men's lives for the better. Every single one of y'all, I know that. But I also know that one of your jobs, in my opinion, as a high school football coach, is to at least open the door or maximize the possibilities for your football players to extend the lives of their careers by going on and playing in college. And I think you do a critical disservice to the offensive football players on your football program when you run offenses like the triple, okay? Because unless they look like Division I players and unless they walk around like the biggest, strongest, fastest, tallest guy, no matter what, they're probably not going to be able to maximize their scouting profile. That's my personal opinion. That's the way I feel about it. And again, I have a background in this. I ran the triple, and I also just think it's kind of an outdated method of way of playing football. So that's just the way I feel about it. I'm very passionate about that because you guys know that I work really, really hard. I spend a lot of time in the off season really working and trying to elevate kids' profiles in terms of their recruiting availability. And it bugs me. It bugs me when I go see kids like schools like this because I think you're prioritizing your ability to win football games in the fashion that you know for the ability for your players to go play in college. That's just the way I feel about it.
And I think too, it does a disservice of who you're trying to pitch your football program to your high school students. Because like me, from experience, my high school ran the triple option. Still to this day, I believe, still run the triple option. And everybody's like, oh, J-Will, why don't you go play football, dude? You're a tall guy. You can go be a receiver. They run the triple option. You think I want to go out there and block a dude for 4 quarters? Like, no, I don't want to do that. Not saying I was going to go on and be some college athlete at the football level, but no. Like, I think it also puts in a very small scope of who you're wanting your students to come play football.
Yeah, we ran the wing T in high school, so I kind of understand your.
They ran it 3 years in college. I think it's part of the reason why I worry about CTE being a thing in my later life. Because you're just running your head against a wall. That's literally what you're doing as offensive line. You play with a flat back the whole time, and you're just running at hips the entire time. You're catching knees, catching helmets, catching shoulders, right in the top of the bread. I mean, just right in it. So, yeah, I got a slight disdain for it, but, it's a direct reflection of my career. And, I got a feeling for it. So I got into an argument with a former coach of mine on social media about this the last time I had this take. So we can move on from it. It's not that big of a deal. I just don't necessarily love it. Team totals. Do we want to guess those?
Dude,
we already gave us the total.
Did you find them? I don't know if they have.
I don't know if
anything
they
on
have
that.
them.
Yeah,
so
I don't
it's
know.
not that big of a deal.
They don't have them on the ESPN app.
Yeah,
but I do.
Huh? Go ahead.
No,
You're
you're going to go to transition to a new topic. That's what I was going to do.
I was. So, Florida State got snubbed hard, okay? Everybody upset. Everybody pissed off. A lot of vitriol. Danny Cannell done claimed a national title, said it's blasphemous, even though his national title, we found out on social media, was actually a very similar circumstance. Did you see this? This was kind of funny. Danny did a great job of, spinning it back to him. I don't necessarily love every take that Danny makes, but as someone who's in this business, god dang do I respect his ability to make a take, because he'd be making some fire ones. Especially, being he don't tread it. You know what I mean? He's either always over here or always over here with the heat. But no, social media came up today with a devious, and I mean devious, Florida State fan or Florida State Seminole plan, and I'm assuming neither of you are aware of this. You haven't seen this.
I want to go into this blind. And
Okay.
Well, I don't know because I've seen so many of them, I feel like.
All right, so you've heard about the lawsuits.
Yes.
Okay. You've heard about governors and political figures getting involved in this, trying to win some votes on this
Yes.
as well, to an extreme.
Yes.
Okay, to a real extreme that we had a good laugh about yesterday off show and off camera, because not that show. But the latest plan is the greatest plan. And here's the plan. Florida State goes about playing in this Orange Bowl with all intensive purposes. Okay.
Yes.
Going to practices, do media availability,
Yep.
show up,
I like where this
go
is
through
going.
pregame. Okay, do everything. We're playing. We're happy to be here. Sucks that we didn't get into the bowl or the college football playoff, all this good stuff.
Keep going.
And then right as the fireworks, the smoke, all the stuff goes off in the tunnel, Florida State players just stand right in the tunnel in full gear and refuse to play because the games don't matter. And then they leave ESPN with this 4-hour block that should be the Orange Bowl to fill and advertisers to make happy with no game to play.
I love it from a that's devious standpoint.
Hella devious.
Devious. Now, the one problem I have with that is you're having a bunch of fans then come out and pay money and.
But they'd be in on it. Florida State fans would be all about it. They'd be, F the system. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, but I mean,
they'd be all about it.
There is definitely gonna be that one fan.
It's in Miami.
Yeah, we
It's
live
not
in
like they're
we live
traveling
in
that
Miami.
far.
We don't get to travel to Tallahassee much. This was our one chance to see Florida State play, and they did this. Just shocking to see. But I do love it because it would stick it to CFP.
Georgia fans would be the one that would be pissed off.
They'd be hot.
They would be super hot. I mean, even for us, like if going and covering the game, us being in the press box, getting ready to cover, it's like, don't know what we're gonna do now. Gonna figure that out, I guess.
Dude, the ratings play on that would be insane.
Yeah.
Our page views would go through the roof. What are you talking about?
I have a better idea.
What's up?
You do it like they said. Go through practices. Go through everything. It's on what, December 30th?
December 30th.
What is that, a Sunday?
It is. No, yeah, I don't know.
Whatever
I don't
day.
know why I
The
said it
night,
like that.
2 nights before, massive COVID outbreak.
Ooh.
Oh, guys, look, I know we haven't really had this problem in 2 years, but the entire team has COVID right now. For the safety of us and others,
Pull a Vandy?
we're not going to play in this game. Because, I mean, what could you say to that if you're the NCAA?
Georgia gonna get Vandy twice.
Let me ask you this: if you were a random viewer, because I know what would happen to our page views. Our page views go through the roof. People would be Googling why Florida this, why Florida that. Everyone in our space would have an immediate boost. Okay, but if you were a common observer and you were watching the Orange Bowl or set to watch the Orange Bowl that night, wouldn't you stick in for that coverage more than any coverage ever? So from a plan to try to screw ESPN, it's not that sound of a plan.
I don't want to compare it to this, but it
Are
does.
You gonna do the Kobe thing?
Not the Kobe thing.
Yeah.
I was going to more so go the route of DeMar Hamlin.
I was going to say, so I wasn't going to go there.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to go there in the sense, but like when that happened, I mean, everybody had their TV on there. There was no football game being played. Everybody was tuned in to hear updates about what is happening, what is going on. More so worried about what was going on with DeMar Hamlin. Is he going to be okay? So, yeah, everybody was glued into their TV for that. In a similar sense, for different reasons, people would be glued in and tuned in for this. Like, oh, what's going to happen? What's ESPN going to do?
That's why I think my plan is more effective because you can just shut it down 2 days before, and the NCAA can't really do anything about it. And you don't have this otherworldly media coverage now where it's like, wait, Florida State's refusing to come out of the tunnel?
That'd be dope.
It's so anticlimactic. Like, yeah, we all have COVID. We can't play. Sorry.
Or just have way too many opt-outs.
That would be funny as well.
Breaking news. 4th string right tackle from Florida State.
The redshirt freshman is opted out of this game.
But will return.
TJ Pittenger, friend of the show, I asked him about this today, and he was like, no, it's not necessarily real, but you can imagine what it'd be like if it was.
Oh, man.
But he did mention he kind of hoped it was. I mean, it would be insane if it happened, but I don't think it's going to.
Our boy TJ was the first person I thought of when the rankings hit.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We tried to get him on, but we had a misreading of an email on my end. But no, I think that would be kind of funny. Florida State did that one.
Would be.
So where are we going next?
I want to hear about this formula you have.
Yeah,
I hate
formula apparently.
Yeah.
I've been because the Jaden Daniels argument we had a few weeks ago made me really think what constitutes being a Heisman winner. What do you have to do to get there? So I did a kind of math formula for it. Do I get the lav mic?
This is a official passing of the torch.
Let's go.
Right here, you get the lav mic. It's the first time ever. Here you go.
Hell yeah. Do I get to ride on the board too?
You get to ride on the board.
Oh my God.
Do you know how to work it? Have you watched it long enough? I'll set you up.
Is it not just drawing?
No, it's not that easy. Here you go. I muted it for you. All right, so here you go. Now you just write whatever you want.
Let me get this clip in real quick. Fill some dead air on.
Fill some dead air, he says. Oh, and he didn't even move his cameras before he left. What a rook. Oh, that's the wrong one. I'm the rook. I told Jay, I said, I know how to do his job. I got that sucker. Here we go. So now we're on to 3. Nope, we're on to 2. So it's him over there. Okay, there we go.
All right, so I just
This is great content.
So it should be.
You just unmuted it, so we should be able to hear you.
All
What's
right,
up,
so
man? What you got for us?
All right, so I had a thought about this. What makes a Heisman Bowl? What do you have to do to be there? So I came up with 3 things. Am I drawing right here?
3 things. Yes,
All
you
right.
are. Ooh,
Oh,
we got
Venn
so
diagram?
Venn diagram.
Ooh.
You have to do 3 things to be a Heisman winner. 1, you got to win games.
Oh, we got to win.
Last 50 of the last Heisman winners, only out of all of them, 50 of them have had 1 or no losses.
The only recent ones with multiple losses are RG3 and Johnny Manziel.
And Lamar Jackson.
Jackson.
Johnny Manziel had 2.
Yeah.
So you have to win. You have to have stats.
Ooh, got to rack it up.
Jay, well, I know you like this. You have to be able to say, hey, this person has X number of yards. This is why they need to be in the.
You're good.
I'm new at this. My bad. You have to have wins. You have to have stats. And you have to have. I want to cover this up so they can't see it. You have to have holy shit moments. You have to have
Nice.
Heisman moments. He drove down the field last play of the game. He beat number 5, upset this guy. All that exciting stuff. So I got to thinking on this because there's one person that stands out in the Heisman Finalists this year. Who is it?
Jaden Daniels?
No.
Marvin
Harrison.
Marvin
He's the
Harrison.
only receiver.
Harvin Harrison.
Oh, Maserati.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about
Marv.
it. Does Marvin Harrison, and before I get there, you have to have 2 of these 3 things.
Yeah.
2 of these 3 to win.
Got to be 2 for 3.
Sometimes everyone's got all 3. Those are your Joe Burrows, Johnny Manziel, some like not even Johnny Manziel. So Marvin Harrison has to have stats.
Okay.
He's 9th in leading receivers.
9th?
There's 8 other receivers that are ahead of him.
So Malik Neighbors, Roma Dunze, Luther Burden.
Yeah, some guy from Arizona.
Xavier Leggett.
Yeah.
A dude from Virginia.
Yeah. So
Yeah, a dude from Virginia.
No
bro.
way.
Yeah, a dude from Virginia.
Holy
all
crap.
right, so Marvin Harrison doesn't have stats. You have to have wins. Only 1 loss on the season, I would check that off. And you have to have holy shit moments. I would say for most of the season, we've had Marvin Harrison saying, oh, wow, he's been able to do that. So it's fine.
I would consider Penn State a holy shit moment. He basically beat them by himself.
He also had a bunch of good catches in the game. So So, but that's basically my formula is that, and that's why I think Jaden Daniels will win the Heisman this year because he doesn't have wins, but he has a lot of holy shit moments, and he leads the stats category by the most. I think he's got as many total yards as Joe Burrow did.
Yeah.
Did he not?
Yeah.
So that's kind of
he
why
does.
I think you have to have one of these two. You have to fit in two of these three categories. Sometimes you're all three, and that's where you get the mega Heisman winners. But other than that, 2 out of 3.
I like the formula.
That's what. So from now
Let's
on,
do Bo Nix.
all right, Bo
Let's
Nix.
do Bo Nix.
Bo Nix. Stats, 77% completion percentage. I think that's
It's a completion play. That's all
Yeah,
you
I
got.
think
I mean, he's
that's
like
a
top
stat.
10 in yards. He's like top 10
got a lot of
in all the other
touchdowns.
stuff. Yeah, but it's not like gaudy
No, yeah.
Heisman stats,
Yeah.
though.
For
So we might want to put him like slightly outside that circle
Okay.
in terms of stats.
So he's got. We'll say hold it for now.
How do Venn diagrams work?
Holy shit moments. Does he have any holy shit moments? I know he likes to do his thing where he runs around 30 yards in the backfield and throws a completion. He hasn't really done that this year, has he?
Those are Bo Nix moments.
Against Portland.
Against Portland State.
So he's kind of had those, right?
Yeah.
Wins. He's got 2
Yeah.
losses now, so
So no wins.
No wins.
He lost the 2 big games.
he fits in the 2 categories. Holy shit,
1.5.
1.5,
Yeah.
kind of fringe. Michael Penix, similar thing. He's got the wins. He's got stats. He's got holy shit moments. Does he have holy shit moments? He hasn't really done anything this year.
There are, like, he has them in moderation. Like, holy crap moments when you're watching, like, oh my gosh, wow, that dude rifled it in there.
I thought the third and fourth quarter of Oregon were all about him. Like his ability to throw and process and put it into tight windows.
I would put that under more wins. Like, oh my God, he played with holy shit moments
Yeah.
to me are like what Stetson Bennett did in the Oregon game, what Lamar Jackson did against Florida State, where it's just like,
Flash plays.
yeah,
Wow.
flash plays.
Yeah.
That's
There we
the
go.
holy shit moment for me. So I would say Michael Penix fits what, 2 of these 3?
Yeah.
So again, all these Heisman finalists have 2 or 3. It just so happens that Jaden Daniels has the most holy shit moments in stats. It's going to overcome it.
I like it.
Me likey.
Let me mute this now.
What a guy. You can just keep it locked in. Actually, I'm going to need that back because we're going to go to the board and do bowl games. That was fun. I don't think I could do your job.
My job?
Yeah, I don't think I could do your job.
It's not that hard. You'll learn.
I think my problem with being as ADD as I am is that I'm one track
see,
mind.
now you didn't change the cameras.
Yeah, I did.
You didn't change 3.
Oh, I didn't bring these back. My bad. Yeah, no, I definitely couldn't do your job. Your job's hard. Maybe one day we'll have the funds to not have you guys doing jobs while you're doing jobs.
How'd
You know what I mean?
that go though? Did you like
I thought
that?
that went really well. I thought you handled the board really well. You knew which camera you were on very, very well. I think it's difficult to do that.
Yeah,
It's uncomfortable.
we'll get better at it in the off season.
Yeah, definitely. Portal players. A lot of portal players hit the portal today. A lot of good ones, too. What I told Kirby today before the show is I don't want to sit here and inundate you guys with portal talk. I don't know if you're necessarily inundated by it unless it directly impacts your football team. So, that being said, I think we're only going to talk about the football players that enter the portal that I know for a fact are going to directly impact the outcomes of the season next year. Okay, for example, LT Overton hit the portal today. He is a ball player. All right. Former number 1 overall recruit in the 2024 class, reclassed into the 2023 class. No, 2023 overall recruit, reclassed into that 2022 class at Texas A&M, during that year. Now, has played 2 years of college football and is a really, really good football player. He's going to make an impact at some school next year.
Yeah, it feels like now it's early in the portion of like you're getting a feel of like just how much talent is going to be in the transfer
quarterback
portal.
action early too.
A lot of quarterback. You got quite a few wide receivers that are going to be immediate impact players, and so now you're getting it on the defensive side as well. Like, whoa, there's some really good defensive linemen and some defensive players in this class that can make an immediate impact for some schools.
For sure.
I remember watching LT at he was in Alabama, and he was immediately like a true freshman starting, playing, and was immediately on radars. Dad was actually the assistant athletic director at Alabama during Kirby's time there with Nick Saban, and the dad is now the head athletic director at Kennesaw State. Okay, so this was a guy that everybody kind of got tipped off to very, very early in the high school recruitment process and was immediately number 1 player in the country. And it's very rare that you meet these football players and they kind of check all the boxes, not just the physical intangibles. So, yeah, an extremely elite eval from top to bottom. I don't know if he's had the statistical output that I thought he was going to have, but the first time I turned tape on to Texas A&M, they had him playing like Sam, okay, not Jack. I had him basically playing Sam out in space doing weird. He's 6'5", 260 pounds. So, like, he was doing things that I don't necessarily know his next team's going to ask him to do. I think his next team's going to ask him to be a traditional NFL defensive end because that's what he is.
And I think you bring up a good point of why, like, when these players enter the portal and you're kind of evaluating them, it's super easy to go and check the stat reference on them and be like, oh, well, he had 48 tackles over 2 seasons, 3.5 tackles for loss and a sack. But then you go and explain, like, well, they kind of have him doing some weird things that you probably wouldn't have him doing at some other schools. And maybe that's why he's hitting the portal and he'll be put in a better position and he'll go on and put up better numbers.
Let's continue to talk about another Texas A&M guy here in Walter Nolan, who hit the portal yesterday. We'll talk about him today. This was a Tennessee, Georgia, Michigan, Texas A&M battle. Towards the end of that recruitment, obviously Texas A&M won out. This was a Derek Brown comp for me coming out of high school. Like, I thought this dude was going to be guys, I hand clocked this guy sub 5 seconds at the Under Armour event in the 40 at like 345 pounds. Like, was noticeably overweight. Was the only defensive lineman, interior defensive lineman that day to run the 40, and you see why. I mean, immediately, as soon as he started taking off, you're like, oh my God. Holy shit. Look at this guy. So he's one of these football players, and I would be asking this question. If I were representing either of these football players or anybody at that Texas A&M class in 2022, the first play was about NIL. We know this. We can obviously quantify that. We can say that and feel comfortable about reporting that. The first decision was an NIL play for all you guys. The next decision needs to be a development play, and it needs to be an immediate development play. Like, I need to go somewhere where I know for a fact I'm going to become a better football player the moment I walk into the door. It's not about immediate cash grab now. It's about how do I protect the NFL money that I should have had if I just handled business in college anyways. I think these decisions from these A&M guys, we're going to find out very early what they're prioritizing on their next spot, because the next spot, again, needs to be about development and immediate development.
Well, I mean, also – The question was, did they get paid like they said? I mean, you've got other players that are leaving Texas A&M like, oh, we didn't see any of that money, so maybe they are going out and prioritizing it again. But what's going on here?
Jared Zirkle hit the portal.
I guess he wants to be a place kicker.
I get it.
I'm guessing. That makes sense.
Yeah.
He's just been the kickoff guy, so he wants to go be a place kicker. So Jared Zirkle in the portal, number 1 overall kicker in high school. Was that right?
Sounds about right.
I think he was. Big leg on him.
Yeah.
I think Woodring hit him out on the accuracy. So
yeah.
There you go.
I mean,
kicker in the portal. But back to the A&M discussion.
Yeah. But no, I do think that you might see a lot of these players still prioritize finances just because we don't know what the financial situation at Texas A&M looked like. Because you have a lot of guys coming out now saying, oh, we didn't get paid shit. So.
Another great football player in the portal, Jaleel Skinner, the tight end from Miami.
That'll be a good get.
Miami's always had some really good tight ends, you know. And I did this number and I figured this out because it was during the offseason. It was during the offseason I was writing an article about Todd Hartley and how he's revolutionized kind of and revamped Georgia's tight end room. And you go and do some digging about Todd Hartley and you find out he was at Miami for a period of time. And you look at the tight ends that Miami had while he was there. A lot of really good football players at the tight end position. Miami has kind of continued to do that even without Todd Hartley.
Now, I know Bama finished close in this one for Jaleel coming out of high school. He looks like a Bama tight end. These big, tall, lanky, explosive, really fast tight ends. Like, this isn't a guy Georgia normally signs. I don't even think Georgia heavily recruited him coming out of high school. This is Bama-type tight end. This is, Steve Sarkisian-type tight end.
Ooh, I like it.
Very similar to what the Odom kid is, right?
Yeah. Caleb Odom from Carrollton.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a great pull for you not being a recruiting guy. Look at you.
I know my stuff.
That's a really good pull. Yeah, very similar to that. Caleb, traditional wide receiver in high school. I don't even think he knows how to get in a three-point stance. Getting recruited as a tight end at a school like Alabama because of this. Tall, skinny, fast.
How do you get in a three-point stance?
For real? We want to coach it up right now? I mean, it's 3 points.
We got 10 minutes.
It's not hard. Here we go.
On live?
All right, so we teach this toe to instep. Okay, what does that mean? Okay, if you're a right tackle, right guard, whatever. If you're a center, you're even. Okay, we talk about toe to the instep. We want to take this toe, put it to our instep of our other foot. Base just outside shoulder width. Okay, just outside shoulder width. We're going to squat like we're taking a poop in the woods, all right? And then we're going to imagine that our eyeball, our right eyeball, we're a right tackle, our right eyeball fell right out. Okay, we're going to put it in the ground. Okay, a lot of coaches, they'll teach 40-60 method, meaning I want to put 40% of my weight in my heels, 60% of my weight in my heels, 40% of the weight in my hands. I had a coach that used to tell me, if I come by and knock your hand out, you should not fall over. So there you go. The key here, gentlemen, the key is to have a nice flat back with a raised chest without having too many of our heels off the ground. You see my right heel is up. That means my ankle flexion isn't very good. Okay, that means sometimes guys will screw that foot out like that and they'll really sit in it like this. Okay, so there you go. I still got it.
Very nice.
Still got
Very
it.
nice.
Yeah, it's all about having good hips, okay, and not being too tight in the ankle. Okay, if you're too tight in the ankle, you're screwed. So there you go.
The more you know. Love it.
Chicken sandwiches?
Kyle McCord visited Nebraska.
Oh, yeah, Kyle McCord going to Nebraska. Visiting, I should say. Apparently, it's going to cost $1.5 million.
Is that what they're
I
saying?
doubt it. That's what Matt Rule says about transfer quarterbacks.
It's true. Good point.
He got asked if he was
Nah,
going to get a transfer quarterback.
I'm not going to say that.
What?
Nah, it's
You mean Honda McCord is going to cost that much money?
That's too much money for an Accord.
They're efficient, though.
They are.
depends on what's under the hood.
I had a buddy that used to live and die by 06 Honda Accords. That's why I always reference them. Shout out Ethan Sewell. I know you don't watch, but I love you, buddy. Very, very dependable cars. Don't know if Kyle McCord dependable quarterback, though. So, yeah, I mean, but it beats the hell out of Jeff Sims, which they convinced themselves into.
Yeah,
So,
that's a good point.
which they didn't finish the season with. Is Jeff Sims just going to,
Disappear.
I guess, vanish? Yeah, so we talked about purge valves. We talked about Pat McAfee. Should we talk about the spicy chicken sandwich? It's a close night show.
So specifically, the spicy chicken
spicy
sandwich.
chicken sandwich.
I'm assuming this is from Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Lord's
Shouts
chicken.
out to Chick-fil-A.
Not
So-
Popeyes?
No, we pride ourselves around here about consistency, right? It's one of our core tenets on this channel. I want to make sure that every time it's the same thing, okay? And as a person who is a known food lover, I mean, for Christ's sakes, look at me, all right? Someone who really, really loves food, all right? Every single time I go through a Chick-fil-A drive-thru and I order a spicy chicken sandwich, every single time I take that first bite, it's exactly what I thought it was going to be. It's the best spicy chicken sandwich you'll ever have in your life. It's the best chicken sandwich you'll ever have in your life, in my opinion. And every single time, it tastes the same exact way. And I don't know of anything else in my life like this other than my wife. My wife is the only other consistency in my life that is this daggum consistent. Spicy chicken sandwiches from Chick-fil-A never miss. They are the same thing every single time.
So would you say the same thing about the regular chicken sandwich?
No, honestly, sometimes the pickle's been on there too long. It gets a little too soggy. Sometimes, for some reason, the spicy chicken sandwich does not happen like that.
I don't think does a spicy chicken sandwich have pickles?
It does.
It does.
And it is very much so needed. I used to not think so. I used to order no pickle, pepper jack cheese. Not the way to do it now. I want that thing like it was made. I want that thing like God intended it to be, which is 2 pickle.
So here's my question. Is Chick-fil-A the most consistent fast food restaurant?
I think over time people would say McDonald's, but their service has since fallen off. But even in their falling off, they're consistently bad. Like the ice cream machine's always broke.
Yeah.
You know, the apple pies are always scorching hot when you first get them, but cold around the edges. You know what I mean? They're consistently bad even in their performance.
Because I feel like every time you go to Chick-fil-A, you know exactly how the experience is going to go. You know exactly how the food is going to taste. When you say, I want Chick-fil-A sauce, you know exactly how many Chick-fil-A sauces they're going to put in your bag every single time. You know exactly the quantity of everything. I think they're the most consistent in the business.
Burger King's consistently ratchet.
See, I'm going to really tick some people off. I think a Burger King Whopper, I think it hits.
I'm a Big Mac guy.
I mean, I am too, but
I can't tell you the last time I had
about
Burger
a Whopper.
King.
Dave's Baconator is the best.
Oh, dude. I mean, yeah, if I'm getting slutty, I'm hitting up Wendy's for a Baconator. Don't get me wrong, dude. I'm going to have grease on my shirt when I get done with that sucker. But, yeah, I mean, from a consistency standpoint, do y'all know of anything like this? That every single
Curly
time
fries.
you get it? You had this take pre-show. This is so wrong. Curly fries can be very inconsistent.
Have you ever had a bad curly fry?
Yeah.
Here's my whole
burnt curly fries or not cooked well enough curly fries.
Nah, bro.
A soft curly fry is not very good. It's just mush.
Here's my I love curly fries. I'm on record of saying I think Arby's has the best fries in the
Facts.
fast food game.
I'm with you.
But
I've never actually eaten at Arby's.
this is my only thing about the curly fry is that, again, the quantity of fry that you're going to get each time varies because of how the curly fries are put. Like, the size of curly fries varies. Like, for the most part, waffle fries in general, you're going to get a variation of every single one every single time. You're going to get some variety. Curly fries, it really just depends on what the size.
Basong in the chat is a friend of mine. Can't go wrong with a Whopper, man. I am in agreement. I think the Whopper is critically underrated. I had one the other night.
Too much mayonnaise.
See, you had this take on me too. You can ask for no mayonnaise, or you can ask for light mayonnaise. You can alter it. But that goes back to the consistency discussion. Yeah. But I wouldn't put Burger King up in this realm of a so said Chick-fil-A.
For sure.
I had a Subway attendant change one up on me. This is what we're ending the show on tonight, so don't be mad at us if we get. This was so funny. Last week, what did we talk about? Mythical fights, Dan Lanning, bar, alleyway, that type discussion. Dude, we were 13 and a half hours into content, and we dare mention a mythical subject like that. And we had commenters talking about, all this fake fighting scenario, get to some serious football conversations. Dude, we had 13 hours of it. Where you been? So, God forbid we have a little fun.
Hey, that little skip button, it helps.
Yeah, it does, especially for the non-live viewers. But, hey, I'm here for a spicy chicken sandwich. We'll talk about favorite bowl games tomorrow. I love you. Appreciate you for coming tonight. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button on your way out. We'll see you tomorrow.